Guys, about the Wizards, they made a move today, um, right a few minutes before the Commanders made a move for Johnny Newton. So I wanted to come on here at least and discuss a little bit with you about what the Wizards are doing here in acquiring guard Tre Mann. Now, this is part of a larger deal in the league that sent Peyton Watson from Denver to Cleveland. The Clippers were involved. Tre Mann was just recently shipped to Cleveland. So this is a deal with Cleveland in which Washington is getting Tre Mann. They are getting a 2027 second round pick from the Clippers and getting some cash back as part of this deal. And in exchange, they're sending Cam Whitmore out to Cleveland. Now, from the Wizards' perspective, this is a pretty no-brainer kind of a trade. Now, I'm not suggesting Tre Mann is a budding all-star or anything, but he does give them a little bit of what they've been looking for, some veteran depth. I mean, he's only 26, but he's been in the league um, since 2021-22 season with Oklahoma City, which of course is where he was with Will Dawkins. He was the 18th pick in that draft. He's subsequently been on Charlotte, then like I said, well, not really on Cleveland, but he got transferred here to Cleveland through a different trade. He's had some injuries, hasn't been able to play a ton over his career, but we're talking about a guy who shot 36% from three last year, 35% overall. He can play some point guard. That's basically his natural role. Washington wanted some more depth there behind Trae Young and to compete with Bub Carrington at a minimum from a contract perspective. Tre Mann, he's got 2 years left on a 3-year, $24 million deal, but the third year, so that's next year, is a team option. So potentially this is just a 1-year deal for Washington to see what they have to get some more depth here. If you look at Tre Mann, he averaged 10.4 points as a rookie with OKC, shooting 36% from three. Oh, I don't think I was looking at this list upside down. He didn't shoot particularly well from three last year with the Hornets. In any event, um, he had a year in 2024-25. He didn't play a ton, 13 games, averaged 14 points. The year before that, 28 games, averaged 11 points. This past year, played 53 games, only 5.5 points. But like I said, I think this is a guy who's got some potential. And this is another example of Will Dawkins dipping into his past to bring somebody to Washington. He obviously did that with Trae Young. And now with Tre Mann, they also have Trey Johnson. So good luck with everybody trying to figure out who's Trey. Of course, there's three Treys. Get it? That's pretty funny. In any event, I don't know that Washington is done necessarily. I'm sure they will always be available as a way station for other teams if they need to move some money around. But in terms of the overall team, this is something they were looking to do. I still would argue that they could use another big man. Speaking of big man, also in this trade, Julian Reese, who was one of the guys that kind of helped out late in the season as a rebounder, former University of Maryland standout, he was moved in the deal to Denver. Now, according to my sense is that he's going to be released by the Nuggets once that deal all gets done. And maybe he could come back here. I'm kind of getting the sense maybe not. But, once you get past Anthony Davis, um, DeAndre Ayton, the second round pick, like they could in theory use another big. And I thought Reese did a pretty good job as a rebounder, but, it's not a make or break scenario. We'll see what happens. Um, on that front. Arguably, if you're going to worry about Davis's injury, maybe you want more of a forward center as opposed to just sort of a forward type. Cam Whitmore is a guy who they acquired in one of their, many moves here over the last couple of years. Cam Whitmore is a guy who came out of college, was projected to be in the top 10. He slipped to later in the first round. I think part of that issue was questions about attitude and things along those lines. And that was like, I think there was like some question about that with Washington. That said, I was told, hey, he was pretty good here as uh, from a teammate perspective, from an attitude perspective, but ultimately, there's no room in the inn when it comes to what he does as a wing guard. When you look at having Trey Johnson and Will Riley, and to a degree AJ DeBonsa and Keyshawn George, like there was nowhere for Cam Whitmore to play. They moved on, and get a guy who, in theory, should give them have a better chance to play, especially if he's able to Trey Man able to beat out um, Buck Carrington for minutes, or we'll see how that unfolds. So that's the deal. Trey Mann, the newest Washington Wizard again. Trey Mann, Trey Johnson, Trey Young, three Treys. That is kind of hilarious. I don't know. I assume Michael Winger and Will Dawkins didn't do that as a joke. Kind of a funny one. No joke though. Trey Mann is a member of the Washington Wizards.